Rise and shine, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're here in Australia. We've got a massive slate of games today. The first one kicks off in 2 hours. I've got 4 fire picks and a value play to share with you. Let's get it!
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
First off, I want to apologize for not getting a video out at my usual time. I think I'm about 10 hours late. If I'm going to be honest with you, I was putting my daughter to bed last night. I was retelling Shrek in my own words, and I fell asleep. So I missed out. But I did have more time to do some more research. So I know the first game kicks off in 2 hours, so I haven't had as much time to prepare things the way that I normally would. But don't you worry, the picks will still be fire. Let's firstly jump into a bit of accountability. Our last stream, what do we have? 2 picks. That's the wrong bloody update. Let me just update that for you. So we only had 2 games. It was a 2-game slate. We had the there it is. The Nets took Bridges over 8.5 rebounds and assists. I think he got 12 or 13, so that cashed. Went for a value play with Chet over 2.5 assists. He finished on 2, didn't play much time in the fourth quarter. Bit disappointing, so didn't get the sweep there. But it does take our season record to 23-19 on props, still 3.8 units up. Same game multis 39, 43.42 units in the profit with a 38% return on your investment. Now, I'm sharing with you a lot more than I normally would. 5 picks. If I'm being completely honest, I've got 10 picks that I'm running at the moment. If you are interested in seeing all of those picks, jump into the Discord, completely free, and I'll share everything that I get on. This stream will be a little bit different, given the time. I haven't done a full write-up for every single player. So what I'm going to do is take you through props.cash. So it's a tool that I use when picking players. So I'll share that with you. It's not new, it's pretty common actually, but if you're interested in using this tool, I've got a link for that in the product description, so you can have a play around with it and do a similar strategy if you really want to. So the very first pick I'm taking today, we're looking at Trae Young over 9.5 assists. You can see that I've got him up on the screen. Quick reasoning: the defense against his position, it's not a bad matchup. It's not an easy one, but it's not a hard one either. If we look at his previous form, this is so far this season. He's hit this in 7 out of 10 games. It's a 70% hit rate. If you look through last season, he hit this line at 57%. Up against the Philadelphia 76ers today, where he has strong form as well. So he's hit that in his last 3 of these last 4. Last game against the 76ers had 20 assists. We're only looking for 9.5 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's take Trae Young. The very next one, we're looking at Mitchell Robinson over 11.5 rebounds. Now, let me just quickly search this bloke up. Pretty straightforward play here. Up against the Washington Wizards. Firstly, looking at his form against them, not the best. He's only hit this is 1 out of 4 games. Although looking at the season, he's hit this 7 out of 11 games, averaging 11.7 rebounds per game. So basically looking for him to achieve his average today. As you can see by the numbers, he usually blows this out of the water, or he doesn't get close to it all. Today against the Wizards, it presents the best matchup. The Wizards give up the most rebounds to the center position by far. Daniel Gafford is not going to slow down Mitchell Robinson. So we'll take a Mitch Rob here to get some boards. I did have a look at his points line. You can get him for a double-double for over $3 if you really wanted to. But if you have a look at his points line, not as crash hot. He's hit it in 5 out of 11. And if you're looking at over 10 points, he's only hit that twice so far this season. So at $3, I had a thought about it, but ultimately in the end, chose not to take it. Our next play, we're looking at Nikola Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. Just let me bring up the MVP. Best player in the league by far. Firstly, that's his points line. So his points line is 32.5 points. He's only hit that 4 times this season. It is too high for me to touch, but rebounds-wise, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So looking at his rebounds, he's hit this in 6 out of 11 games so far this season, only a 34% rate last year. So historically, it's not the smartest play to take. But if we look at his form against the Pelicans, it's juicy. 4 games against the Pelicans, averaged almost 15 rebounds. He's covered this in 3 or 4 games. So far this season, the New Orleans Pelicans give up the 3rd most rebounds per game to centers. So we're liking Nikola Jokic to get busy. and collect all those boards. If you like rebounds, Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. also have some strong cases to get boards today, whether it be position, whether it be the matchup itself. But I figure Jokic is probably most likely to dominate the boards today, which means either Porter Jr. or Gordon. There could be a surprise for them to go under. So I just chose to stick with the Joker. And our last play, we're taking my man. Oh, it's not my last play. It's the last single bet. We're taking Russell Westbrook and we're taking his points line. So I took this 12.5 points line before the news came out about him putting his hand up to come off the bench, which is just another example of Russell Westbrook being an absolute legend. So I think the line's now 11.5 points. So he's put his hand up to say, I'll come off the bench. We want some continuity in our starting lineup. He'll come off the bench and hopefully he's going to eat for us today. So one reason why I love this play is up against the Houston Rockets. Now, I think Russell Westbrook, I think I remember this, or I must have dreamt it last night, but he's covered this line in 100% of his career games against the Houston Rockets. Obviously, his circumstances are different now. He's a bit older. He's on a stacked Clippers team, and he's going to be coming off the bench as well. But if you're looking at the matchup against his position, it's not the worst matchup in the world for him. It's not the best either. Houston's actually been a gritty defensive team. But at the same time, I'm loving what Westbrook's been doing. He's covered this in 6 out of 10 games so far this season. I think 69% if you're looking at last year's performance. But yeah, really interesting to see how he produces today. If he does come off the bench and if he is working with the second unit, his usage rate is going to be high. He's going to have less time sitting in the corner. We should see a more aggressive Westbrook today, hopefully covering his points, rebounds, and assist lines. I hope he gets a triple-double, to be honest, because he's on the cusp of getting 200 triple-doubles for his career, and I'd love to see him do that today. At the very least, cover this points line. So I got it at 12.5, but the line at the moment is 11.5. But feel free to jump on that one. And my last pick is somebody that we've gotten on before who failed to deliver, but has been great so far this season. So this is the value play. We're looking at Jalen Johnson. Over 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 3-pointers made. You can get that for $4.50. I am playing his points line as a single bet as well, but I'm also playing him as a value, so I thought I'd share that with you. So looking at his points, firstly looking at his points, he's covered this 12.5 point line in 7 of 11 games so far. But if you're looking at 15 points, he's covered that in 5. So his potential is quite high. I think his potential is to score 20 points per game. Not to average, but I think that's what he can get to. So you can get him at great odds if you move the needle upwards. 7 out of 11 games, he's covered his own line, and 5 of 11 games, he's covered this juiced up line of 15 points. Now he's up against the Philadelphia 76ers. They do allow the 6th most points to power forwards. So I think we have a good chance for him to score here today. Also combining the fact that we're loving Trae Young. Trae Young's going to pass to everybody if he's going to hit that. And Jalen Johnson playing the John Collins role, spotting up. He's hitting a lot of corners. His 3-point shot is nice. He just doesn't take many of them. Speaking of his 3-point prop, here's his performance so far this year. So he's covered 2 3-pointers made in 5 of 11 games. So his performance isn't the greatest, although it has been picking up as of late. If we scroll down to have a look at this here is the other power forwards and how they've performed against that 3-point line against the 76ers. So you can see over the last week, Obi Toppins hit 2, Naismith 2, Isaiah Stewart 2, Kyle Kuzma hit 4. So that's not too bad. We've got his minutes per game. They do go up and down. I think the last time we bet on Jalen Johnson was one of these games where he played 21 or 22 minutes when I was hoping for him to get over his average of 30. So hoping for another 30-minute game from Jalen Johnson. This is his 3-point attempt. So he's averaging almost 3 attempts per game. He never shoots less than 2. So we know he's going to take 2 shots. The question is, can he hit them? So he's shooting them at 45% this season, though. So he's got a great percentage from downtown. I think it all just comes down to his attempts and whether he can make them. He's off a great game. Last one against New York, 4 3-pointer attempts and 4 3-pointers made. So the man was stroking it. I think throughout the season, we're going to see this number increase. He's going to take more. He's going to make more. I think his point line continues to grow. So Like in Jalen Johnson, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 3-pointers made. If you're looking at his rebound prop, what you can see here, this for the season, he's covered 6.5 in 7 of his last 11 games. He's averaging 7.7 rebounds per game. His line set at 6.5. I wouldn't say it's a good or a great matchup when it comes to rebounds against Philly. But I just played it safe and went with the 4. He's hit 4 rebounds in every single game. His recent form isn't great, but the main play in this one is really his points line. So we're liking Jalen Johnson, 15 points, 4 rebounds to make 2 3-pointers as well at $4.50. Now, I didn't hear from Sweet T. Well, I have been speaking to him, don't get me wrong, but no tips from him from this video. But I've got to tell you, this man's got so many plays on today. It'd be a crime if I was to share him on his behalf. But if you are interested in seeing what T's got happening, jump into his Telegram. First game's not for another 2 hours, so you've got enough time to follow what you like. But description for his Telegram, the link to his Telegram is in the description box below. If you've never seen Props.cash before and you haven't used it, and if you're interested in signing up, the link to Props.cash is also in the description box. And I just mentioned earlier, I've got at least another 5 or 6 plays that I have on at the moment, all in my Discord. So if you're interested, go check that out. It's all for free. We've got a big day, hoping to scoop some units, baby. Thank you all for tuning in. And let me know what you think about the videos. Is seeing the Props.cash analysis something that you want to see more regularly, or would you prefer me to just riff it off the top of the dome? Because I don't mind doing that as well. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in live, and thank you for everybody else who's watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Holla.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay.